Introduce himself, his couch, and get started with this.
Alright, hello everyone, my name's Grubdog, I'll be running Metroid Dread, all bosses, and with me, you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, no, hi, I'm Rabicool. I've played this game through once, so you know I'm pretty much an expert.
And I'm Kenora. I've also speedrun this game, mostly any percent, but yeah, good to see.
Yeah, alright, so we're ready to start. I'll do a countdown. Alright, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
All right, let's go.
Yep.
Now, Grub, I noticed it looked like you'd already played 3 minutes of this. Like, what's
Oh
the
yeah,
deal
so
with
that's file. We have prepared this file just so we skip the intro, which is pretty long, and that's a normal way we start these speedruns. So we'll be just kicking it off after the load screen. So this is Metroid Dread, first brand new 2D Metroid in 500 years. And this game is so good. I'm so happy with how this game turned out. It's very fast, we're off the bat. So we have a brand new melee, there it is. We also have a brand new slide ability. Who even needs more fall? We do, but we're getting it later.
Yeah, but later.
Right, we're just zooming through right here. So this is all bosses category. This isn't a boss, there's a lot of text here, but this is Adam. We're just going to skip him. We're doing all bosses, not all Adams. And yeah, so all bosses, there's 30 bosses in this game. Little melee tutorial here. This is a mini boss, but we're not doing all mini bosses either. So yeah, at the end of the results screen, we'll see if we beat all 30 bosses.
Well, you mean you might just forget it about some or something?
Oh yeah. You guys remind me, right?
Sure.
And so we're sliding through here. You can normally skip this, but there's a boss here, so we're gonna go and check it out.
And if you ever see Grubdog take any damage, just automatically assume that it's some form of damage boost to get to the platform that he needs to get to.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, nothing else.
So yeah.
Everything's intentional.
Exactly. I'll be doing melees and slides out, so we can't kill this boss yet. We're just gonna head out of here. We're gonna see if we can find a little upgrade here.
So this is the introduction to one of the Emmys. There are seven of them in the game.
Yep.
They basically, at the beginning of the game, the cutscene that we skip, Samus has all of these abilities and gets them taken away from her. The Emmys somehow managed to have all of her abilities, as we kind of learn as to why throughout the game. This broken one first here.
Yep, that's the first boss down.
Yeah, so that's the first boss. Woo!
Yeah.
And yeah, after that Emmy, they've just become petrifying. Like the game has such atmosphere of dread, I suppose, as you have to enter an Emmy area. But somehow I think you guys are a bit more across what's going to happen.
So this is why it's called no major glitches.
That was.
Do you want to explain pseudo wave?
Yeah, so we just shot through the wall there. You know, there's just a crack in the wall there. It's fine. We were just shooting through that perfect angle. And here's the next boss. So here I've got to be a little careful I don't run out of missiles.
Nice. Yeah, so this boss likes to go invisible, and you can still hit it while it's invisible, but if you don't kill it in time, you will need to shoot its tail or ball thing to be able to phase transition it. Makes it go uninvisible again, as well as give you a bunch of missiles back to...
Yeah, we might have to farm missiles here, but we'll be right either way. Let's see how many shots we can get in.
Yeah.
Good.
It's mostly a guessing game as to where its head is at, and it's really annoying to try to get pinpoint shots.
Oh, we got some missile drops. Very nice.
Oh. On.
Okay,
nice. Last missile.
All right, it's 2 down. Where'd to go?
Yep, that's 2 bosses down.
Yeah, so that pseudo wave trick lets us shoot through some walls in the game. Basically, Samus is colliding with the collision of the map around her and being able to kind of shoot a bullet through where she normally isn't able to until much later in the game when we actually get the wave beam ability, which is where it's referred to as pseudo wave.
Yep, you might have seen I did a little cloak slide there. So normally you can't slide when you use the cloak, but if you just slide before using it, you can kind of get through that those doors a little bit faster. We got more Adam text. We don't need to see this. He's just saying, good luck at PAX. That's what he said.
Yeah. If only there was a way that, like, these Adam rooms are just, they're so long and they're unnecessary. If only there was a way that we could skip them entirely for the rest of the game.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, this sounds completely fake though. Like I don't know if there's anything like that in the game.
Well,
we'll have a
he
look.
stops being so supportive. He becomes more negative as well. So yeah, it becomes more like, oh, I don't think you can do this, Samus. Just gaslights you through the
Or
game.
you're weak.
Yeah, that's why we don't need to listen to him. We're
Yeah.
doing our own thing here.
So this is the first actual Emmy zone. Well, that was the first actual Emmy zone. Meant to have entered it through a slightly different part of the map, but because we did that pseudo wave, we're able to access it a different way. Apart from that first broken Emmy, the rest of the game's Emmys... Ooh, oh, look. Almost. It's a very precise trick. It involves invisible sliding and... Yeah, nice.
First try.
First try.
That's right. First try. First try. Love it. We love it in the crowd. Love it.
So that's still worth doing. It saves about 16 seconds
Yeah.
going down and changing the water level. We also get an extra missile pack as well.
Yeah,
There's another trick.
Yeah, for those of you watching on Twitch, there's someone in the crowd with a sign saying first
Actual
try,
first
crossed
try.
out,
Oh.
first try. There it is.
So yeah, normally we would have the actual Emmy chasing us around this first Emmy zone, but because we never went the path that the game expected us to originally, the Emmy hasn't actually spawned in yet. So we're able to kind of traverse through it and get the charge beam here, the intended first actual upgrade of the game.
It's a good thing charge beam's in this room, otherwise we wouldn't be able to get out.
Yeah. But we'll soon have to actually spawn the Emmy in intentionally, otherwise you'd get to the part of the game which you meant to kill it, and because it never has spawned, it soft locks you completely. So we're now just kind of going back the way we came, but able to go through.
Just gonna grab our
doors
first
that we
E-tank
couldn't-
here.
Yeah.
Pretty much a freebie there.
Time for a donation, you think?
Yep, sounds good.
No worries. We have a couple here. We have $10 from Rifle Waifu, who says, "Have fun with the rub grub." Heart.
Thank you, Rifle.
Yes, and now so we're gonna actually go first kill that first Emmy, but as we kind of mentioned, the area we have to go to actually kill it requires us to change the heat level. So we have to go through this area, which you wouldn't be able to access Corpius at this point yet, I don't think, because
Yeah, you see Corpius in the background there.
Yeah.
The game doesn't think that you're meant to defeat him yet, but don't worry, we don't have to beat him twice.
And the visuals in this game are just gorgeous. Like, I still found myself, after playing through it casually, like once or twice, just taking a moment just to kind of gawk it all.
Absolutely. This game's so smooth, and like going fast is so satisfying. There's a lot of moves. You might notice I'm sliding off ledges, meleeing off them sometimes. That can be a faster way to fall down. So if you see me doing that, it's not a mistake. Everything's intentional.
The early game in Dread is certainly the kind of most dull in a way. It has some fun tricks to do.
Oh, it's Adam.
It's Adam again.
Yep.
More totally supportive dialogue that we'll absolutely pay attention to. Oh, and okay. Yep.
Cool story, Adam.
See, the fun part is in the any percent route, you actually are able to use the pseudo wave technique to actually skip the first Emmy. So when Adam in that cutscene there mentions, oh, there are 6 remaining Emmys out in the world to kill to get your abilities back, you never killed the first one.
There was a little skip there. So here
Yeah.
we've got to activate this Emmy. That's why we're running out of the door and coming back in, because we never triggered it before. Now we've got to shoot this just to reduce some lag, and now we're out of here. We're running. It's after us. So this thing also counts as a boss in this room. We're going to fight the control unit to get our beam upgrade for the Emmy.
And if any of you played some of the original Metroids, it bears striking resemblance to a certain Mother Brain.
Yeah, with the turrets all around and stuff.
So now we get the Omega Stream. Well, we got it earlier actually as well, but a little bit of a weaker version of it. Basically, all of the other Emmys other than the first one have a faceplate that you need to shoot with the Omega Stream to be able to actually melt off to heat up the shielding for it to break. And then once that faceplate is broken, we can charge up the Omega Blaster to shoot it in that core to get it. Nice.
Is the next boss down?
Yes, there we go.
That one's a little close there, but if it gets too close, you can just fall down the ledge there, but we didn't have to do that.
There it is. What power up we're getting now?
So now we're getting Spider Magnet. This is going to help us climb walls and do single wall jumps up walls, and there's a lot of like nice environmental interaction in this game. We can use the magnet to sort of pull platforms down and stuff and get out of this area.
Yeah, and you could use it in the Corpheus fight for when he's doing the poison breath attack. And you could. Oh wait, he's already dead.
We can go back in there. Nah.
That is actually a bit of a dangerous part about the Corpheus fight. If you do fight it early and you don't quite phase it quickly enough, it can do this attack that it spews poison gas onto the floor, which you're expected to have the Spider Magnet ability at that point to be able to climb onto one of these light blue walls in the arena to avoid that. If you don't, you kind of just have to jump and pray it doesn't do enough damage to kill you, or try to face him before he does it. But
yeah, fighting Corpheus as early as we did, it's quite a dangerous part of the run, but it went pretty well in this. So, you know, might notice I skipped a missile pack there. We're going to grab some 10 packs later, so it just works out better to get those instead of the 2 packs here. Tough damage boost coming up.
Nice. First part done.
And we're
nice. That's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, that saves us going the magnet on the top, which is about 7 seconds slower or so.
And this game has some very long loading screens between each area.
Yep, so we've got a bit of load times now. If there's any donations, it's a good time.
Yeah, thank you. We have another donation. We have $20 from Demon Hunter, who says, "Go Grubdog, put money towards playing as a jellyfish in Celeste." So that's a nice reminder that we do have a pile of incentives that you can put your donations towards.
Thanks, Demon.
So we're coming up on the second main area of the game, Kataris. Kind of the most infamous just because there's so much to do here and so little to get the first time we're here. It's kind of just a huge run around of doing small errands, which there is a trick that helps us skip a good portion of that, which also has some other effects as well that we'll also quite enjoy.
Yep, so more Adam here, but this could be the last Adam. Last time we see Adam, I wonder.
I don't know. I mean, why would we skip him if he's so helpful and supportive and
yeah, it's worth
not
losing
all,
3 minutes to that.
Not at all talking about how amazing the bad guy is.
Alright, so we're filling up these vents to open doors by filling up a pipe full of lava. Pretty efficient way to open a door. Just how things are here on planet ZDR.
It's really nice that Samus always manages to go to these planets that are just filled with Chozo technology and things that work entirely with her power suit.
I like how nasty all the names of all the planets are and the places in it. Like, what are we now? Like Kataris or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kataris.
Kataris.
Yeah.
Kataris, Kataris, you decide.
Are you going to go through the...
Going down here.
It's not like Pleasant Meadows or something. It's always just some hellhole.
Yeah, that's what Kirby's for.
Yeah.
So that heat door we saw Grubdog go through, you can actually go through that. It's a little bit more dangerous, a lot more dangerous actually, but it does save a little bit of time. But especially in a marathon, it's much safer to just kind of
I was practicing that. It wasn't working, so no.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right, we're going to do a counter here.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's a tough ME pattern.
Yeah.
So we'll just respawn at the start of that room.
So the way the Emmys spawn in this game, I believe they have set locations, but it's random as to which one they start in, and then their movement is kind of determined based on how you move. Because their main objective is to hunt you down and do exactly what they just did.
All right, we're out of here.
But we do have things around us to help avoid them. But sometimes they just spawn in a pattern that is really annoying, like that one.
Yeah, that one you can jump over. I just was a little bit off with my movement there, so that's kind of a theme with the Emmy rooms. They're not too bad as long as you stick to the path, and there's quite a few different patterns you can get. Some of them easier than others.
Nice fall.
Yeah, that fall's important, otherwise this Emmy will catch up to us, so I'm going to do a quick trick here, one attempt. Oh, that was a bit off. So you can shoot that button from down there, but it's a heater room, so it's a little bit risky to try again. Oops. Alright, so we're coming up to the biggest sequence break in the game. This is... Explain it when we get to it, or you guys want to explain it?
Yeah, it'll probably make a little bit more sense once we get into the room that it's done in.
Yep.
But basically, it's going to be a series of jumping off the wall in a certain spot, as well as doing the melee mid-air, which kind of resets our the way we're falling effectively. It allows us to get height that we very much shouldn't be able to without any jump upgrades, and allows us to skip having to do one of those lava flow sections, which manages to also break Adam for the rest of the game.
So here we go.
Yeah. It is quite tricky. But it saves so much time.
Oh, that was close.
Almost got it.
A bit too low.
Yeah, so you gotta recognize if you jumped off a little bit too low, otherwise you won't have the height. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with this. Nice, there we go.
First try again.
First try.
So that saves us having to run around the entirety of Cataras.
Yep, that saves about 3.5 to 4 minutes in all bosses, because all bosses has a lot of Adam rooms. So Adam is downstairs there. He's waiting for us in that room downstairs, but we just skipped him. We're never going to see him again. Just waiting with like a picnic to Samus, but we got more important things to do.
And of course, we know the developer did intentionally put in a few sequence breaks, but we think that one probably not, because you now skip Adam forever.
Yeah, there are a couple that skip Adam at different points in the game. And those ones are very much led to believe that they weren't intended. There are definitely some that don't feel intended, but the fact that they don't break the game immediately.
Yeah, it's tough to say what they were thinking.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, I understand there's even a whole secret cutscene for one of the boss battles if you've sequenced.
Yeah, if you manage to get certain upgrades, and you get the bomb upgrade before the Kraid fight later on. Spoilers. Kraid's in this game, sorry.
What? I mean, I have to fight Kraid? I didn't practice for that.
It has a very secret, disgusting, but secret cutscene. And if you haven't looked it up, I would probably recommend it just because it's unique. But it's one of the ways that, yeah, the developers clearly were thinking of sequence breaks when designing the game, and even had small stuff like that to kind of reward the player a little bit if they manage to find ways to manipulate the game's systems to their advantage.
Second E-Tank here is pretty free. Now we're opening another door by filling up a pipe with magma, as you do.
As you do. You mean you don't stick your arm into random lava flow generators all the time?
Well, that's one way.
Is that just a me thing?
Do we have a sec for a quick announcement?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Alright, so as AusSpeedruns for this event, raising money for Game on Cancer, we've just crossed the $500 mark, and that's fantastic. Thank you, everyone. But with that, that also means that across all events, AusSpeedruns has managed to raise $100,000 for charities. So shout outs to everyone. That is huge. Thank you very much. And obviously, yeah, do please keep donating if you can. Game on Cancer, fantastic cause. Thank you.
Yep, we've just got another load screen here.
Yeah, any more donations coming?
Oh, we've got tons and tons of donations coming in. They're all coming in left and right. We have $20 from Milk. Good luck, Grub. Get it first try.
Thank you, Mil.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of times a little later on where we just have to kind of backtrack a little bit to go to certain areas, and we go through a lot of load screens.
Oops, so that's a little trick that saves 1 second and loses 10. Just going to go the slow way here, that's all good.
I mean, but the damage was completely intentional, of course.
yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
how could you have made that jump otherwise? Yeah. Yeah, so it's here we start to see the effects of that. There isn't an atom room in this. I always think that there's an atom room in this area, but there isn't at this point. Yeah, so this is the first area that we go through that the power is out. We need to find the power generator to turn it back online. While we can get to the door that leads us to our next ability, the force field that is blocking it requires the power to be turned on to actually go away. So turning on the power does bring some of the nasties back around, but it is required to...
Yep. Oh, now we can see. That's where I
and
am.
now we can see. Yeah.
Yeah, but all the cobwebs are gone too.
All the cobwebs are gone. Now we have wide beam. The first of the beam upgrades.
So wave beam's kind of nice. We're just going to do more damage to enemies and such. Has a wider beam, pretty self-explanatory, and we can also open doors with it. So it's kind of a progression item as well.
Yeah, the nice thing about charge beam already does about the damage of a missile by itself, but with wide beam, because it's shooting 3 times the amount of shots, if you can land all three charge bullets, it can do so much damage, but it obviously takes a little bit more time than a missile.
Little ME sequence there. We're just going to run away for this one for now, but we'll see it again, I'm sure.
Although I would hope so.
Wide beam's pretty good, but it's not quite enough to take on that ME yet.
I'm sure the category, it wouldn't be all bosses but that one.
Yeah, it's not most bosses, all bosses here.
Most bosses. Some bosses.
Alright, we've got another load screen here. If there's any donations, it's a great time.
And there's a bunch of donations, but I want to take a moment to talk to our friends in the giant line off to the side and tell them who we are and what we're doing. We are AusSpeedruns, a group doing speedrun events to raise money for charity. For this event, we're raising money for Game on Cancer, a charity which funds early career cancer researchers who are working across all areas of cancer research. If you'd like to donate, please go to donate.ausspeedruns.com.
Right, back in Kataras.
Yep, back in Katara. So we've got the wide beam now. We can open up a few more areas.
Mostly activate these wide beam blocks. And that door. So you'll notice, kind of as you go through, that each of the enemies, in their little intro cutscene and what they do, kind of show off one of Samus's main abilities. This one has been crawling through vents and being able to kind of scrunch up as it does, which indicates that it has stolen now Morph Ball ability. It does reach a point where, like, all of the other enemies after this can also go through vents, so it's also kind of, they all have a little bit of Morph Ball, I suppose.
So we've got a tough enemy kill coming up here. We're just going to push it as close as we can here. Enemy's going to be all up in our grill.
Have confidence.
Bang.
Yeah.
And yeah, Grub makes it look easy, but those lines he chooses to aim at the enemy, that's some pretty precise stuff. He's got to just
Yeah, the main thing about that is you want to set it up, break that block as soon as you can, and then slide in ready.
That's
It's
probably
almost like we knew it was going to be there.
That's probably my favorite part about speedrunning Metroid Dread, is being able to manipulate and kill the enemies in such a quick and efficient manner that just makes anyone else that's played the game, who ran around constantly, I imagine.
Yeah,
I mean,
tough.
myself included, especially the upcoming one.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. So, yeah, my best, Metroid Dread speed run is 10 hours, 30 minutes or something. What was your first run? Or
my first run, I think, was close to. I kind of took my time. I think after I learned the route, it was about like over like 2.5, and then I very quickly you start to get certain things, like especially boss fights. Once you get a bit more practice in boss fights, they first try them a lot.
Hardest jump in the game there, that single tile jumper, we got it.
God, it's the worst. Now we're going back to Ataria.
Yep, now we have Morph Ball as well, so you thought, oh, we don't need Morph Ball, we can slide, but Morph Ball is just nice to throw into the movement. You can jump into tunnels and stuff and press the Morph button. Kind of just ties into everything else.
Unfortunately, you can't jump and slide. You jump. So it helps with those one tile high mid-air.
Yeah, this place is locked off unless you have Morph Ball.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got time for donations now, another load screen, if there's any more.
Ah, yeah. I have $20 from 3 Fast 3 Wombi, who says, "Go Brella Boy!" Exclamation.
Thank you.
And another really nice thing about Dread is you'll see Grubdog shooting very, very fast a lot of the time. While we do allow turbo within our community to a slightly limited factor, the wonderful thing about this game is that Samus shoots as fast as you press the button. So if you also just are really good at mashing, then the speed at which Samus can fire her arm cannon is astounding, especially when our beam starts doing good damage to bosses. Good.
So this is the next boss, this room. Got to get out of here before it gets too hot.
If only there was some upgrade that we could get that would help with heat.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Like,
Yeah, that would be
around
really nice.
now, that'd be so nice to get something like that.
Especially if you have to go back into that room. Like, yeah, it exploded behind us.
Yeah, pretty dangerous in there.
Alas. So anyway, about that upgrade that helps with the heat problems.
Yeah, very conveniently located near the heated rooms. You see me, like, sometimes I'm charge-shotting a door to open it a bit early, because sometimes there's a bit of delay opening doors, so this one's already open, ready for us to go. Been doing that quite a bit.
And the suit designs in this game are just phenomenal. Like,
So
Barria's
nice.
suit is so good.
Yeah.
And then the suit we get later is my personal favorite, but also I'm a huge fan of purple, so a little bit of bias there. I always almost, like, want to show off the suit transformation cutscenes in this game whenever I do a
There's some
run.
great cutscenes in this game. We're skipping like 17 minutes worth of
Yeah.
cutscenes or something.
They're all so good.
A little bit slow though.
Especially the end one. What are some of the end ones are phenomenal. It's a shame we have to skip them. Another time for a donation or two?
Cool. I have $25 from Lynn, who says, $25 for each yump I got, which was 1. Link's name is Chris Pratt, so thank you, alum, for that $25. You weren't joking, these really are long.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them.
And there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's loading the whole area at once. I think it makes sure that there's no transitions between the doors themselves, which is kind of nice. Right, now we can hear some roars in the background. I wonder if there's anyone down here.
So luckily these enemies we can just kind of take damage intentionally
Yeah.
and then
We'll
walk
refill
through
on
them.
health a bit later.
Yeah. Again, all damage taken is just completely intentional. Nothing can be said for anything else.
This is not Dread mode.
Oh God, yeah.
Alright, coming into the next fight here.
So here we have everybody's favorite dinosaur dragon.
Oh, I hate him. I hate him. When, Prey caused me a lot of problems when I was playing through the game for the first time. Like, it's not so much
Nice.
what he does, but every hit he hits you with, like there's gonna be spears coming out of his stomach soon. They take off like 70 of your health. Now, I mean, Grub's only got 300 health. I think I probably had less when I first fought him. I don't know, but there's not much available. Yeah, those.
Yeah.
It's just unfair. So, get him.
You would have seen Grub as well in that sort of moment where Kraid is shooting his spikes to knock down the wall climb. Will like jump up and preemptively shoot Kraid. That kind of just opens his mouth up a little early so we can get some nice pot shots in.
I even resorted to going to
Nice.
GameFAQs. Oh, well done. I even resorted to going to GameFAQs to find out how to beat, and it was just full of pointless tips like, oh, shoot his like horns to recharge health. And it's like, that's not my problem. My problem is that
Yeah.
he hits me at ever.
Kraid is certainly one of those bosses that the faster your beam spam, the easier that second phase is, because it being able to just shoot the purple spot in his belly, which also they made so unnecessarily disgusting in this game. Like, sure, it's probably great flavor or whatever. Well, okay, not flavor in that aspect, but it indicates his weak spot, and if you can shoot that the beam fast enough, it makes it go so much faster than.
Yeah, they did an amazing job with that fight. The crate fights are usually been a bit short, but this one that just went all out.
Should we do a donation, or is this one quicker?
Yep, we've got another load screen here.
None of them are quick.
Look, I just got a donation. I was going to say I'm out of donations and ask you a question, but I've got $25 from Anon Frodo, who says, "Hey, a bit sad I can't join you all this year, but I hope you have a good time and good luck on all the runners. Putting this towards being a jellyfish in Celeste."
Right, so we've got a skip here coming up. I'm going to get Grapple Beam a bit earlier by jumping over this lava, which could potentially result in a death.
Yes.
Alright, so this is the first one. We've got one more jump here.
So while these coyote jumps look a little tight, which they can be, this is definitely one of the skips that's feels very developer intended. As kind of once we go through back to Ataria, get Grapple Beam. There are some rooms in the next little bit coming up that have Grapple Beam blocks that you can easily just like skip having to go the long way around. It just makes the game just flow a little bit better and faster, which is what we're here for.
Yeah, so pretty much coming down here to get Grapple Beam and then heading straight back out, but it saves so much time to get early, as you said.
Do you think there's still like more sequence breaks people are yet to discover, or have we really?
I think it's
tried
likely.
everything?
Usually, that you never say never.
Never say never. Yeah.
Quite a few things have been found recently in other categories.
I mean, even now, like I think some current patch runs like are more consistently getting below an hour.
For unrestricted.
And it's the more that'll be found about this game, the lower and lower those times will get.
Yeah, it's really exciting. This is still a relatively new speed game, I think. We're still finding stuff. This is a Grapple Beam. I love the Grapple Beam in this game. It's 360-degree Grapple Beam. We can swing, we can open things. And it's pretty fast as well. We're going to be using it just to climb up here as fast as we can. Sort of jump out of it like that as well.
And yet another loading screen.
Yep.
Get ready to see these.
I'm going to go make a donation so there's something to read out.
So many loading screens. Well, I'll ask you a quick question because I don't have donations. What got you into speedrunning?
Oh, great question. Actually, Super Metroid, I guess, was the first game I speedrun, and it's just a lot of fun. I remember just beating it casually, and then it has the timer at the end. It's like, oh, maybe I can do that a bit faster. And then jumped online. I saw a lot of people doing it, and it's just like a fun community thing to do, and very rewarding to bring that time down. Right, now we're going to come back through this room.
Kind of on the topic of community as well, like the Metroid Dread community is so phenomenal, and they even have like sort of like boot camp for like newer players to kind of like request and attend for like some more of the long time runners able to help train them and teach them into the things that they're uncomfortable with or wanting to learn, and it's such a pleasant experience kind of all around.
Oh, I lost the game footage.
Yeah.
No. I'm just going to pause.
I don't know.
Okay,
we're back.
Cool. And I made it through the Emmy room, thank goodness.
You continue to hold left.
Yeah, sorry, I went to donate. That might be why.
Yeah, that Emmy room was quite dangerous. Thankfully, we didn't get a bad pattern. Just lost the signal again, but no worries, I'm just going to pause it. Just give him a few moments here. So yeah, do you two have a favorite boss? Or least favorite?
I mean, as much as I've hated on Kraid, I had more trouble with some of the later bosses, actually. But I did like that... what's the... I don't know what it's even called, but the one who you see him first being repaired or revived in the background, and then you come back and that's a great fight. And
see that soon, actually.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
His Samus restoring the power to Pax. We're all good now.
I think that boss is actually probably my favorite as well. Just kind of, it's like how it plays casually, but also how it really changes once you have a certain upgrade, which I believe you'll have Speed Booster by the experiment, right?
Yeah. So that's going to be a fun fight coming up a bit later in the run.
It has a really, really cool quick kill of the second phase that if you haven't seen it before, it just feels powerful to execute well.
Yeah, this speedrun, like, it kind of evolves as you get more and more abilities. The movement starts to get very different and much faster.
What's your most favorite or least favorite boss?
Favorite and least favorite, both Corpius.
Yeah, no, actually, that tracks. Yeah, so it's things like this, having to avoid going through the really long bomb tunnels on the left there, and then we have grapple beam to kind of just speedily go through. So here we're running from this speed booster Emmy. Kind of traverse through the rooms in the right ways to not have it really let it even get a chance to start catching up to us, which we'll deal with it soon enough. And on our way to another loading screen. Everybody's
now we're heading off to
favorite.
Garenia. Yep. Is there any donations or anything to say? Got another load screen.
Look, I'll take a second to just talk about the fact that we have incentives. So when you donate, not only can you give money to a good cause, but you can also tell us to do things. So we have incentives for Link's name in Ocarina of Time. That's been quite the bid war going on there between them. We have the trainer name coming up, and we also have playing as a jellyfish in Celeste, which sounds like a lot of fun. So we want to make sure we see that.
Here we are in Garenia, where it's always raining, a bit like Melbourne.
It's everybody's favorite water level. Every game's going to have them. But because we have grapple beam, we get to skip like 90% of the water, which is fantastic because water is tremendously slow.
So they are just cloaked, otherwise you'd have to take a bit of laser damage, which knocks you back a little bit faster to do that cloak.
We say hi and bye to Adam now that we have skipped him permanently for the rest of the game.
That would normally be an Adam room, but since we did Adam skip, we're saving time in all kinds of ways.
I'm sure it's not relevant anyway. Like,
Yeah. I'm going to try a tough little skip here. Coming up, I'm going to try and get flash shift a bit earlier.
Plus, if we need any lore about the game, we have our self-proclaimed expert about everything that is Metroid Dread right here on the couch.
Oh, look, I've been watching him practice this one. This is pretty easy. I'm just
God, that's such a pain. It made that look so easy.
Yeah, I couldn't do that a week ago and practice it and paid off.
God.
There you go, kids.
I still can't do that
pays off.
consistently.
So that saves like 7 seconds over going the bottom route. You don't have to go that way. And unfortunately, we closed the gate, so you can do it without.
And yeah, well, now that we got the flash shift, like the whole really steps up a notch or two. This whole
flash. This is an amazing item. This is the fastest item in the game. It's going to be using it anywhere we can, really.
Like, especially for like a lot of players might think, oh, but speed boost is the game. Like, speed boost is the canonical like you go fast ability. Like, flash shift in the right circumstances can just like completely. The problem with speed boost is that it requires the time to charge up. Flash shift is you just press the button and you go.
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing another trick here to water bomb jump out of here. I'm just going to focus on trying to get it.
Nice.
There we go. So normally you can't do that underwater, but if you kind of set it up with a bomb jump in the first place, then for some reason you can get that height on the second one.
Yeah, that's definitely a more of a thing that the developers didn't account for. That one there doesn't really change much. It just helps us get to that platform a little earlier.
Yeah, you could otherwise go like left and up.
Yeah.
Are there any donations? I mean,
Yes, we have a couple of donations. We have $50 from RB Sickle that says, let's go Grub.
oh, no, I think it's pronounced rabbit.
Look, I didn't have a chance to ask before.
Thanks, man.
I think I meant to put that towards Zelda as the name, but I think I didn't do. I forgot to do that.
It's weird that you know so much about that donation. It's
Right, so we're coming up to some Emmy rooms here. We're going to try and outspeed the speed Emmy. There it is. chasing us down. This might be close.
I believe in you.
Thank you. And we're out of here.
Nice.
Right.
I think
The next boss. These are all bosses, these control units, according to the game.
I mean, yeah, they're in the boss rush. I mean, at least one of them
There
is.
is, yeah.
So clearly. I think coming up, this next Emmy kill is probably my favorite to do like cleanly in a speedrun. I think the yellow Emmy gives the most casual players the toughest experience because it's so fast and it chases you down. But the way that we kill it once you learn it in the speedrun, I feel bad for it in a way. Just can't do anything.
It's giving you all that time.
It gives you so much time. Basically, it's already broken, and it's
Got it
dead.
Yeah, you still gotta be careful there and hold the aim very steady.
Yeah. It's the hardest part about these Emmy kills going fast. Is you got to keep that aiming hand very steady, otherwise.
Yeah, so if the shot goes off it, it starts to move faster, so that's another reason why you want to just keep firing. Now it's really a speed run. We have speed booster.
Yeah, getting both of the like really good speed upgrades back to back, kind of just like hallmarks this section is the kind of the point of the game in the speed run that you just start to just breeze through rooms.
Yeah, this is where
It'll be a blink and you miss it.
go much faster.
And some of the speed boosted jumps are they just look cool and they look fun, and they are fun.
Yeah, I think I was a bit too late on that. Worth going for anyway. So yeah, I got some like safety missiles there. You could skip that 10 pack, but it's gonna just help out for a bit of reliability soon in the run.
Yeah, so where you can't normally jump off walls continuously, using the flash shift to kind of put us back onto the wall allows us to jump off it immediately, which just kind of lets us get height that we would have to get a long way around otherwise.
And at this point, how much of the game is just becoming muscle memory now that you're just wall bouncing from wall to wall, flying through walls?
A little bit. You still got to be aware things can go wrong and then you have to adjust. But yeah, with flash shifts, like spacing is important. You start to figure out where you can flash shift or where speed booster is faster instead. Yeah, we've got another load screen here if anyone.
Classic load screens. We have $25 from Maddened Man who says, please assign to Celeste play as a jellyfish. So we are now halfway towards meeting that incentive. So thank you very much for your kind donations. Not just to our incentives, but to our wonderful charity partner.
Right, now we're coming into the next boss fight. I'm going to try and get 2 Shine Sparks here to finish it as fast as possible.
So
Using
here we
our
meet a
brand new
friend,
item.
and the friend's dead.
Oh yeah, there was a cutscene there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that was a lazy like 5 minutes or so. or as we say in speedrunning, 9,000 frames.
Alright, pretty clean fight there.
Can't believe the first friend that Samus ever makes in a Metroid game and gets killed off immediately, and you skip the cutscene of it. What
Well,
Quiet
it's all bosses, not all friends.
That's good. That's a good point.
That'll be a short speed run.
In that cutscene there, Quiet Robe does show us that he turns off the remaining Emmys, so now they're no longer a threat, and absolutely will not return to be a threat whatsoever. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They've just been depowered. We can't kill them, but I'm sure we'll manage with the power-ups that we have.
Actually, well, speaking of Samus's friends, where are her animal friends that she's regularly rescuing from Super and?
There's a couple of them chilling in the background.
Yeah, they're more in the background in this game rather than actually being able to intentionally save them, which is a bit of a shame to not have that hallmark staple of a Metroid game. But this does follow canonically directly after Fusion, which we save the animals in Fusion.
That's
so,
right.
Like,
Yeah,
it's fine.
they're safe.
Yeah, because we save the animals, that's the only reason we have this game in the first place.
Absolutely, yeah.
Shout outs to the animals. So here we're going back through these rooms, going back to Berenia, because another thing in that cutscene is we opened up a little passageway.
backtracking, and then everybody's favorite cutscene of loading times, loading screens. Good time for another donation or two, I reckon.
Cool. We have $30 from Anonymous, who says Bingus for OOT can't stop the Bingus train, putting Bingus back in the lead for our bid war there. So if you want to see the name be Zelda, you gotta dig deep and donate. And I'll just ask you a question. So why all bosses, no MG?
Well, good question. All bosses, it's just a fun category. So any percent you would skip some bosses, you wouldn't go to some areas. So in all bosses, we kind of have two extra things going for it. We can do more boss fights, and the boss fights are a lot of fun. And we also get to explore other areas we would otherwise skip, which will be seen a little bit later. I've got some speed strats coming up here. Tight little tunnel morph. Oh, got it.
Nice.
There is a bit of a safer way to do that, but if you're just a gamer, then you don't need to.
Alright, we're coming on to the next boss fight as well. I'm gonna try and shine spark into the room, and I'm just gonna try and focus during all that.
I mean, I've lost count. How many bosses are we up? Have we done now? We're about 12? 13? Yeah.
Yes.
We'll find out at the end.
I'm gonna trust the expert here that's been keeping count.
It's somewhere between 1 and 30. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
This is actually one of the bosses we skip in any percent with a sort of a similar pseudo wave technique, but just kind of doing it in a different way that allows us to break one of the barriers after the boss. This is Grubdog. Need to shoot one of those tentacles on the top to lower the teleport field control over the water levels, and then we just shoot missiles into its.
So we've got great missile drops there as well. That's going to be important coming out of this fight. Take a bit of damage here.
Yeah, completely intentional damage boost, of course.
Yeah. Speeds that up a bit, and we'll get some drops hopefully.
I remember this boss also gave me a lot of trouble casually, and then realizing that it's just a matter of
And we're out of here.
like being confident with your missile shots, and it goes down very easily.
So my missiles are still a little short. I'm going to try and hope to get missile drops here. A bit of RNG here. Bit of randomness. We've got health drop. Oh, we've got no drops. Interesting. But we can get some. Oh no, that was a missile drop. It was just a bit late.
Yeah.
And we're heading to the next area.
So many loading screens. So I'm going to ask you another question because it's loading screen time, which means I get to talk to you time. Say you've been watching this at home and you're like, wow, I wish I could do this, but I'm not such a cool gamer like you. Where do you start with speedrunning Metroid? Where's a good place to start?
Good question. I would just start by playing through the game normally yourself, and then getting more familiar with the areas. And then, if you want to learn more, you can join a Discord group. Like Dread has one. You can look at other speedruns, and we have a pretty helpful community of people helping each other out.
Lots of resources for newer players to get into, from friendly, like some more beginner-friendly routes that utilize some less tricks that are a little bit tricky. From as well as those boot camp sessions that I mentioned, where some of the more experienced runners will.
Just gonna wait for that door. Alright, we got missile drops there. That's why I did a counter there. So it's very important to have missiles during this fight.
Yeah,
and both of you guys have been running Dread since it came out, pretty much, right? Or,
pretty much, yeah.
Play this a bit safe here.
We kind of brushed up a little bit about these Chozo robots. They're a bit of a pain. We can't damage them with our beam yet, and they do require quite a decent amount of missiles to kill. Or if we're able to get speed boost in the rooms that we fight them in, like the first one, and we're able to enter that room with a speed boost, which certainly helps do a lot of damage to them.
Yeah. The boss is quite tough because the health is low, the missiles are low. Got to be careful, and it does a lot of damage.
Yeah, they can hurt a lot even in not standard mode.
So we're out of there. Now we got ourselves some super missiles.
Nice.
So do a little bit more damage to enemies and also help us open some doors. It's such a nice area, by the way. We're just zooming past everything. There's a lot of great detail in this area. Underground jungle, Gabaran. It's so beautiful. We've got some waterfalls there. First try. Oh, just got in there.
Yeah, making our way. Moving fast. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, so it might see me doing air dashes sometimes instead of on the ground. That's gives you like a little bit different spacing. You go a little bit further. The ground dashes are faster, so sometimes you just might want to mix them up depending on the spacing. So we landed just right on that tram pedal there. And yeah, the trams are always on time in this game. That's very nice.
I mean, it helps that you're the only one using them, so...
Yeah, yeah.
it would suck if we managed to, like, teleport back to an area and suddenly the tram's just not there.
You had some problems with some train delays yesterday. Did you crumble?
Don't know what you're talking about.
So that loading screen is actually the shortest just because the Loon is such a small area. Kind of helps. It's a little bit spooky here. Nothing's really alive here.
Yeah, something's gone down here, hasn't it? You see a lot of stuff broken in the background.
And if any Metroid Fusion players that haven't played Dread might start to recognize what's going on here a little bit. We skipped that cutscene, but here comes the reintroduction of the X-Parasites from Fusion. Parasitic hosts that can pretty much take over any living being or sludge as well, I guess. And they're a big pain for the universe, but thankfully Samus in the last game in Fusion had a suit upgrade that allows her to absorb them in. So instead of getting health and missile pickups, we absorb the parasites in this area. And only this area, because only this area has...
Well, this is what they're contained.
Yeah, they're contained. It's not a problem. So then we also got Plasma Beam. Plasma Beam is fantastic. It pretty much lets us attack metallic enemies without beam for damage. And
here's the next boss. I've got to be careful because we didn't get health drops there. That's very rare, so I'm just going to have to not get hit here once.
Here's the Chozo Soldier fight. The most basic one so far. And they have an enrage once you get 50% health. Quite terrifying, but Short Rebel take them out with ease.
Alright, I got it. Yeah, I think I would have died in one hit to that spear attack, so I was a bit careful
Those
there.
things do a lot of damage.
And now, a bit of relief here. We've got full health, and we're going to grab our final E-Tank as well. It's a nice reward for that fight.
Yeah, some warm applause from the crowd. We really appreciate it.
Oh no! That cutscene totally.
That was
playing. Something released all of the contained X-Parasites.
Yeah, so the game changes quite a bit after that. The enemies are going to be more aggressive.
And some are a little bit modified in certain ways.
Yeah.
The X will mimic its host, but also introduce some extra little fun bits that make them harder to kill, make them more deadly.
That's the cool thing about this game. The world sort of evolves as you progress, so we've got now different enemies, and we're going to see more of that coming up.
Absolutely. And it's kind of also at this point in the game too that like your ability to spam really kind of helps your damage output, because now that we have Plasma Beam, we can pretty much damage most things in the game, I think, with just our beam. And if you can shoot it fast enough, it's far more damage than shooting anything with missiles, especially now there are super missiles, which makes your missiles a little bit slower but more powerful.
Oops, we've got to be careful here.
Oh, and one of the cutscenes we also skipped, we saw an X-Parasite revive Quiet Rogue and reactivate all the enemies. So unfortunately, they are still very much a threat in this game.
Yep. Here we have another water bomb jump like we did in Verenia earlier. This one's a little bit tighter. Just going to get the maximum height here.
Nice.
First try again.
First try.
These platforms are a little bit dicey as well. Got to be careful here. Zooming out of there and off to fight the Emmy.
Yeah, so now that we have Speed Rooster, the first part of the
fight.
Yeah. Instead of having to shoot missiles, we can just kind of
Just body slam them.
body slam him with the.
Shine spark.
Yes,
Thank you. I
Samus
don't know why
gets
I'm like
stronger,
this.
but the central units don't, so they become easier in a way. I'm going to set up the Shine Spark. Oh, did I open the door? Okay,
Nice.
I didn't open that door. Just going to have to wait here for the Emmy. It should be underneath me. It's there.
Just feel the pressure.
Yeah, the ice one's a bit of a pain too, because we
It's
currently
very
have no
close.
cold protection. So the ice missile Emmy can actually freeze you with its ray, which can make it a really annoying pain while you're kind of trying to traverse through its area.
Yeah, for that one there's a different setup. We didn't quite get it, so I had to do a bit of improvisation there, but thankfully it was fine.
So we get our ice missiles back.
Yeah. So these are kind of a progression item as well. We can freeze these fire plants and get to new areas, and does a little bit more damage, maybe a tiny bit more. But
And the freezing enemies part is largely inconsequential, especially now that we have Plasma Beam. We'll use our beam to kill most things than our missiles. So that'll Speed Booster. Shine Sparks do ridiculous damage.
yeah, we just easily dispatch that with ice missiles. Now we're heading to get Spin Boost, which is something we don't normally need. You don't need it to complete the run, but there is one boss in this run who only shows up if you go in the Spin Boost room. It's just watching us right now from somewhere. And we're getting Spin Boost to activate that boss. And it does add a nice bit of movement, which will save us a little bit of time in certain sections. Yeah, nothing ominous about this room, is there? Just Spin Boost just sitting there. But a certain boss is now very angry.
Rawr.
We're going to head straight back to them now.
You still go get Space Jump through one of those skips in this round?
Yeah, Space Jump a bit later.
Yeah.
Later than you would normally get it. Oh, we just missed that block. Alright, so I'm going to try and set up a Shine Spark going into this boss fight as well. Grab the magnet there for good luck. Alright, here's the setup. Alright, we got it. So this boss thinks it's going to surprise us. It's waiting, it's lurking. The Samus is going to surprise it with the Shine Spark
Nice.
right off the wall.
Instantly phasing into phase 2.
Yep. And I think it's almost like the developers intended for that, because it has a specific animation when it gets bumped off the wall. It's really cool.
There's so many small little details that a casual player probably wouldn't like think to charge off a Shine Spark there to hit it, to get that like special knockdown animation, or just like things that are all splattered throughout the game. But it really just kind of shows the love and attention that the developers had when they made this game, and it's just making it feel like it felt like a game made for us.
Yeah,
Definitely.
It's so polished.
The faster you go, the more fun it is as well. There's so much movement to take advantage of. Yeah, so that fight, you only see that in all bosses, really. One thing about the category you asked earlier, that's one of them. And we're going to get a Shine Spark here to get Gravity Suit, get over this gap, because we don't have Space Jump. There we go.
Nice.
Straight into this teleporter.
Yeah, there's an upcoming Shine Spark puzzle as well that like can take a little while to get right, but when you do, it's another one of those moments that you feel really cool executing it, especially
Yeah, absolutely.
flawlessly. It's got so many like parts to it here and there.
Should we take some donations?
Yep, we've
Yeah.
got some time.
I've got a couple. I have $10 from Tim Trollgasm, who says, pretty bummed out that I couldn't be part of PAX this year, but I'm cheering everyone on. Best of luck to all the runners. Looking to be a rad event. So yeah, anyone at home watching along that couldn't be here today, thanks for being here in spirit at least.
Absolutely. So yeah, here we have the Shine Spot puzzle.
And we got it.
Nice.
So
There's a couple of other ways to do that.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
they all look and feel just amazing to execute.
So that gets us in here from the back way. We're going to get Gravity Suit much earlier than you otherwise would.
Yeah, normally you expect to have a few other upgrades, including the ability to space jump, which is infinite jump, which until we get Gravity Suit, the jump upgrades in this game don't let you exceed the height that you started at. So even though we would have space jump at this point casually, you wouldn't be able to actually gain any height by jumping. However,
so yeah, they were just jumping in water. It's a bit faster than walking, but now we don't need to worry about that. We got Gravity Suit, so we can go as fast as we want underwater. Flash shift, speed boost. That's how we're going to get out of here as well.
Gravity Suit looks so good in this game. The white and purple complement each other so well.
Such a nice suit.
Such a good suit. Each of the suits also provide a little bit of extra damage reduction per them as well. So, like, while the enemies do get a little stronger, so do our defenses. So in some of the more unrestricted, like yes major glitches categories, I don't know if they still do. It's been a while since I looked into them, but they used to have a route that managed to beat the game without picking up any of the suit upgrades, which meant you just didn't have the defense upgrades that you would normally have. So certain bosses would just
like that,
do over like two E-tanks of damage.
So now we're heading into quite a fast section. Oh, there's a cutscene, so we just saved 5 seconds getting the cutscene skip there. And pretty much heading into another boss fight now. The specific setup here I'm going to try and get a Shine Spark into this one as well. Why not?
Yeah, so we're back in Atara here. Unfortunately, some of the heat flow that we did has been blocked off by something, and we're told to investigate by not Adam because he doesn't exist anymore. Another one of these Chozo soldiers. There are different like ranks between them. The red one is, I think, close to one of the top. So the red ones and later the gold ones.
Yeah, this is the Frozo Chozo.
Yeah. They start doing a lot of damage, even with the gravity suit. Like, if you get hit with them while they're enraged in that second form, they do, like, what, 2.5 E-tanks some of the later ones do, I think, close to. Yeah, picking up minimal upgrades in this game can be terrifying if your confidence with the bosses aren't quite there.
We've got a tough speed strat here coming up.
We have trust in Grubdog.
All that. Now we're going to get up here. Alright, no worries there. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you have to bomb jump. It's a little bit slower, and things can go wrong there, but we got through pretty clean. And another Shine Spark coming right up. Speed strat. Oh, okay. We'll just flash shift instead. Not a bad backup. This area is very fast. It's a lot of fun, this area. It's very hard to get everything right, but very satisfying to get these speed strats.
Thankfully, at least, the one nice benefit to Frozen Ataria is that all of the senses that would require invisibility have been so frozen shut that they just don't work, so we're able to just completely speed through and not have to worry about taking time by cloak sliding or normal cloaking, heaven forbid.
Yeah, it's a nice thing about Speed Booster. It does damage your enemies, so faster you go, better off you are in both ways. I've got time for donations now.
Cool. We have $31 from Green Lightning with a 1, who says, "This is my first speedrunning event I've attended in person. I wish the best of luck to all the runners. I'd like to put $31 towards naming the Shining Pearl character Bees." So thank you, Green Lightning. Happy to have you here.
Not the bees. So something's clearly blocking off the sort of lava flow. And
Yeah, I wonder what it is. We might find out
what it is. Yeah.
So yeah, this area wasn't frozen before. We came through here earlier. Now it's completely changed. Oh,
Here it is.
This is experiment Z50.
D57.
50, yeah, 57.
Right, so this is a bit of bad RNG. We just have to, we lose a bit of time whenever he does a swipe there. Oh, he does too. Okay, marathon love. Gotta love it.
Yeah, hate just.
So we just wait and we're fine. It's not a huge time loss. Mainly, I also want to make sure I don't take too much damage here because these things all hit very hard. The triple swipe. Alright, we're all good. So now we're going to shoot these feet off the walls.
Nice.
Here we go. We're going to try and finish him off here with a little surprise.
Yeah, so this is what we were talking about being one of our favorite boss fights, especially when you have the speed booster and certain upgrades, you can make the second phase just a complete joke. Nice.
We're out of here.
And just the sound of that impact when you land it.
Yeah, this game has very
incredible.
great, satisfying sound effects. I'm going to try another speed strat here. Keep this as long as we can.
That boss is also another example of like kind of the world building as you go through. We talked a bit earlier, in the background you can actually see it being kind of like experimented on, while it is very much dead. And having the X now be released throughout DDR, the X were able to infect it and kind of bring it back to life in a much more scarier form.
Yeah, it's a little bit of teasing before that fight. Alright, we're out of here. We have solved climate change by defeating that boss.
We fixed climate.
Any time for
For
donations?
ZDR, yep.
Yeah, I have $7.50 from Ukulele. I played that game once. I promised to donate $5 per yump in the Super Mario World run, and I'm following through. Good luck to everyone running. So thank you for your donation, Ukulele. It was a video game.
So now we're back in Ontario. Pretty much the sole reason why, I mean, other than the all bosses requirement, the reason why we unfroze this area was to get Screw Attack. Yep, very powerful ability.
So this is going to help us fight a lot of enemies, including a boss fight coming up. And it breaks those blocks there as well, so kind of a nice progression item. Allows us to get out of here.
Yeah, it has the added benefit of being able to attack and harm electrified enemies that we haven't really encountered yet. But it's
We're ready.
bit of a slight sequence break to get this early as we do. But it's intended by the developers as like kind of a congratulations. Now you can deal with them a lot easier. You can definitely, and even in the boss rush mode, you don't have Screw Attack when you fight the upcoming boss. That, spoilers, is electrified and is a bit of a pain otherwise.
So there's a tough Shine Spark here to get up this tower. Just going to try and focus on it.
Hi, Anna.
Alright, we're on. So that's
You
kind of
said
tricky.
That was tough.
You just have to be really careful not to activate that too early. Alright, now this boss fight can be kind of tricky. I'm going to take damage as I hit him, and I just have to be careful. I don't take too much damage, so Screw Attack's very nice here.
Yeah, if you can line them up pretty well too, it can be quite handy.
Made it look easy. That was a lot tougher.
Once you get the wave beam ability, when you start fighting two of them at once, you can kind of line them up.
Yeah, you can shoot through them
and
both.
shoot them
Some
both,
different
and
strats you can do there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can counter if you need health back. So always like a slightly different fight depending on what they do and stuff. But that was pretty clean.
That's one thing I like about this game, is that you kind of never play it exactly the same every time.
Yeah.
There's always like something here and there, whether it be enemy spawns or how the enemies are moving patterns throughout that kind of make you adapt on the spot to different reactions necessary.
Yeah, and sometimes your health or missiles might be different, so you want to find places where you can get them sometimes. Might change the way you approach the fight if you come in with no health. Alright, we're coming up to another boss fight. What is this? All bosses? This one's kind of tricky. I'm going to kill it with Shine Sparks as well. We're going to have to be just very precise with these.
Yeah, good luck. This boss is not easy to quick kill.
It's, yeah.
Nice.
Bit of a backup there, but might be able to still get this. Oh, alright, that's fine. It's okay. So now I just have to be careful I don't die.
Yeah, that second Shine Spark is probably the most annoying to get in this boss fight. If you can manage to get it up against the, like, when you're right up against the wall, you can try to hit the back part again, and it does only take 2 Shine Sparks to get, but it's so tight to get it when you're up against that wall like that.
Just gonna play that safe, that could kill me.
And this boss hurts a
close
lot
there.
if you get hit.
Alright, there we go. Finish it off with one as well.
Nice.
Alright.
Yeah. Give that one a round of applause.
So you can finish that off with just 3 clean sparks, but when you miss it, the fight becomes very different. But we got through that. It's very risky because everything does lots of damage there. So I was just playing that safe to make sure we didn't die there. And these are cross bombs, everyone's favorite item. So cross bombs help you fall down pits.
Oh.
I didn't do that on purpose. Right, there we go. So you can just shoot you up. It's like having multiple bombs in a row. They can also be nice to do damage to enemies in certain fights.
I think we've got time for any donations.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just going to take a moment though to remind everyone why we're here, because we're not just here to play video games and go fast and have fun, though that's good and dandy. We are here raising money as AusSpeedruns for Game On Cancer, a charity which funds early career cancer researchers. We're working across all areas of cancer research. If you'd like to donate, please go to donate.ausspeedruns.com.
Absolutely, some good causes. And some great prizes that you can win as well by donating. Thanks to HyperX.
Yeah, I always forget the prizes, thank you.
So yeah, now we're getting in the back end of this run. A little glitch coming up, a little minor glitch. We're going to do a reverse grapple here to grapple this block from the other side.
Nice.
Got it first try.
First try. Okay.
So that just saves you going the top way about 7 seconds, so that probably equaled out there. Still worth going for.
And that one's really clunky too, because it's like the way that Samus slides and you do the quick turnaround, sometimes it kind of like locks up your controls a little bit. So
Yeah.
it feels very like weird to execute sometimes, and yeah, sometimes it just doesn't agree with you.
Yeah, similar concept to the pseudo waves when you shoot through the walls. You want to do the slide first to set up and then
Your arm's already
Shoot it
kind of
right
in
through.
the wall, so when you shoot it, it kind of makes that connection. That one for Renia. Just some electrified enemies. Oh boy, howdy, is it handy that we have something to counter that.
Sure is.
So yeah, we're just zooming through these rooms. We're going to come up to another Emmy area.
Yeah, can't quite deal with this enemy just yet.
Alright, we've got a good pattern, so we can come down here.
Yeah.
Sometimes the Emmy's just there and you have to do a bit of an adjust, but just keep on going through here. We'll jump morph into there.
Yeah, Screw Attack also just like being very handy, and the fact that it'll kill most like minor enemies in just a single hit, and so being able to just like make small jumps like that and make sure you do a spin jump, so just that you hit them with that Screw Attack just to completely go through them, and it's
So we're coming up to a boss fight here. You can sort of see it in the background, just lurking. And flying on the right there.
Yeah.
He's watching Samus. It's ready.
This is vibing. Just wanted to hang.
He's going to race it into the room. Oh, we won. Got a little surprise for it as well.
Yeah, so this boss without screw attack is very slow. It doesn't attack that makes it unelectrified for a time. Nice.
Yeah, we got a double hit on that X Parasite. Very specific setup.
Nice.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have screw attack and all that going into that fight, so I definitely gave it a surprise there.
It makes up for not having storm missiles going into the experiment X fight.
Yeah, now we do have storm missiles. It's gonna be we're gonna use those to open doors and stuff. And another thing we might use on boss fights. Just another tool for Samus, really. Pretty much use everything in this game. It's so nice the way the speedrun flows. Everything's kind of useful in some way.
Except spin boost if you go the space jump route.
True. We have it now, thankfully, because we don't have space jump. It's helping us a little bit, but I'm still going to grapple there.
Yeah, because typically you would get space jump before screw attack as well.
In the 80%, yeah.
Right, another boss fight here.
Yeah, so you want to make sure you shine spark the one on the left there. It has more health than the one on the right, so being able to do the biggest amount of damage with that shine spark kind of just saves having to shoot that gold one for far more time than the other one.
Yep, so now we're going to get space jump. Something a little tricky here, we have to be careful in the space jump room. I'm going to grab it and quickly leave as soon as I can because the door shuts behind you. We're just popping in here for a second. And we have to immediately be ready to flash shift out of here. If the door closes, we can go the other way. That's quite a bit slower, about 20 seconds slower.
I believe in you.
And we're just
nice.
out. Now we have space jump. We can just jump as much as we want. Very nice movement item.
We pretty much only have 2 more upgrades to really get.
Yeah, we're getting to the pointy end of this run.
Yeah. We have all the movement abilities available to us now that we have space jump.
So you might notice I did very quick storm missiles there. I was holding the R button before we even jumped up. It helped speed that up a little bit. We're running away from this Emmy. Getting ready to confront it. We're going to face our fears.
Now that we have screw attack and speed booster, these central units are just
demolished that. So that was a boss fight, probably the shortest one in the game.
Woo!
Yeah, I jumped. Thank you.
Yeah, you jumped.
I mean, that one actually was easy. It wasn't just that he made it look easy.
Yeah,
literally that it was easy.
You're given all this runway, you're given screw attack. I love how this game uses the central units as kind of like an indicator as look how far you've come. The first one takes the longest and you don't have any abilities, and then the last one you just completely breeze through.
We're going to set all this up so we can face the Emmy. We're going to bomb this block again, and now we're just going to be very careful.
This one also gives a lot of trouble casually. It's just the way the areas you can move just so tight.
Right, we got
good space to shoot them.
Yeah, a couple of different ways to do that, and if it gets you, you can jump over it as well, but we don't want to make that too difficult there. It's just nice and smooth kill. And yeah, not many bosses to go now. We're going to get wave beam out of this.
So now we no longer need to do a minor glitch in order to shoot through walls. Now we can just shoot through walls naturally, and shoot through walls, shoot through enemies. Very, very handy ability.
Yep, there's a blob there. We can do just that. It's almost like the game was designed that way.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about. We got an ability from Kraid called Diffusion Beam, which basically allowed our charge shots to have a little bit of extra AoE on them, which is how you're meant to usually break those blobs when they're partway through the wall. But but then once you get Wave Beam, you just no longer really need to charge. Well, you still can to do a lot of damage to them, but all your shots just kind of breeze right through them and land rather than having to rely on the AoE.
Yeah, so we have a pseudo Wave Beam earlier, but this one's much better, reaches much further. Now Samus is getting ready to take on the last few bosses.
It really goes to show just like, once you kind of get that sort of like past the midway point of these speedruns, it's really just kind of back-to-back just upgrade collection and boss fights. And it's very fast-paced once you kind of get out of Kataras, which is awful, and no one likes it.
Yep, here's the next boss. So I'm going to be trying to skip a phase here by doing as much damage as I can before the shield phase. Storm missiles really help you when the shield's up. You can just get that ready.
Nice.
And we skipped it. Now it's really mad.
Some would say you wouldn't like him when he's angry.
Oh, gotta be careful about
Yeah,
this.
so
They do a lot of damage, but we're
that
good.
beam just did basically 2 full tanks of damage.
Don't go around to them.
So
Samus is fed up now, just slamming heads on the ground. And we're getting our final upgrade with this.
Kind of almost 2 upgrades in a way as well. Because in the cutscene we skipped with the Powerbomb Emmy, and as you kind of saw with that Chozo soldier there, Samus has now unlocked some latent ability to be able to latch onto things and suck the energy out of them. Almost as if she's a Metroid.
Yeah, some of that DNA is just woken up.
And now we can say that Metroid is the main character of Metroid.
Yes.
We play as Metroid
And
the entire
if more
time.
people donate to get Zelda the name of Link, you know, we can get Zelda the main character too. in Ocarina of Time, coming up in a couple of hours.
So I'm going to drop a power bomb in this room, but it'll still carry over. Nice little. They're just that powerful. Here I'm going to have to farm a little bit. Hopefully get some good drops. Looks like we did.
Nice.
We got
Yeah.
1, 2. Nice.
That's annoying to not get any drops there.
Yeah. I'm going to try a speed boost strat coming out of here.
The nice thing about the Metroid kill animation that Samus does is that usually the X parasites that drop out of enemies, even those red ones, the red ones don't heal you fully. They just give you a buttload of like health and ammo, whereas the actual animation of Samus sucking the energy completely restores all energy and missiles and ammo, and it's fantastic.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just having flashbacks to this boss when I played through it.
Yeah, this was a
It's
nightmare.
so tough.
The gold one here does the most damage out of all of the
Yeah, we've got to be very careful
soldiers,
with those
especially
attacks.
once in rage. You don't want to get hit by this more than like once or twice. Yeah, that one just did 2.5, I think.
Oh, we're good, yeah.
But thankfully, thanks to Metroid DNA,
Suck the life out of it.
fully charged.
And we're out of here into the final area, so now's a good time for any donations before the final fight.
Yeah, no worries. We don't have any donations right now, but you reminded me before, one, that you really need to get your donations in to see Zelda be the main name for Legend of Zelda, because that's just funny. And two, that we have prizes. So we do have some prizes that you can win for donating to this event. For those within Australia, if you donate $25 or more, you'll go into the running to win a pair of HyperX Cloud Mix Buds. For more information, you can visit prizes.ausspeedruns.com. And of course, we thank our major sponsor, HyperX, for providing these wonderful prizes. And you can type prizes in chat if you're watching along at home. I have no idea what happens if you type prizes in here, but you could always try it.
Yeah, do it. What's the harm?
Alright, and we go into the final boss.
So here we learn that the Adam that we've actually been talking to throughout the entire game is actually not the AI on our ship.
He's mad that we skipped him.
Yeah, he's mad that we skipped him, so he's actually the final boss of this game. Ravenbeak.
Right, I'm doing a setup here. I'm going to do a gold skip with 2 phases, sort of. Just going to wait for this melee. Get rid of that.
And yet, the reason Grub is not shooting him is because he's invulnerable at this point. You just got to wait for the counter.
Oh. So if you're able to spam fast enough, which it's very tricky to do without turbo, you can actually get him in that kind of one counter phase. But nice.
Yeah, we still skip goal. Yeah, that was it's more consistent on shoot phase. Now we just want to pump as many missiles in as we can.
So Ravenbeak actually has a lot of interesting factors going into how much damage he takes.
When I saw Grub fight him before I took him on, and I can't do this. Just duck under and he shoots over the top. I tried that so many times and he just shot me in the face, and I died.
So you gotta have a bit of a wide enough berth when you start the tackle aim, and Samus crouches in a way that completely just like makes most of the hits shoot over the top of her head.
The final phase. This is
We
it.
were doing cross bombs just to get a little bit of extra damage. We do have to be a bit careful about our health. Oh, gonna just get rid of that with a power bomb.
Yeah, during the counter sections, Ravenbeak takes the most damage from
We're taking that.
the beam in the first two phases, I believe, and the first phase. But in the the third phase, missiles are the way to go. He has a lot of very interesting kind of damage reduction. It kind of just changes how we fight him.
Oh, we got him.
And here we go.
One final counter. And we're out of here.
Now that cutscene we skipped is probably the coolest in the game.
There's a lot going on there, yep.
Samus has the Metroid DNA kind of take over in her rage, which gives her access to the Metroid suit, as we kind of see here.
Oh, but wait, there's more. Got one more boss here. So here I'm waiting a little bit, just so it moves forward a bit faster. Saved quite a few seconds just by doing this shot late.
So while we're in the Metroid suit, we also have access to the Hyper Beam, which does as much damage as you could probably expect.
Yeah,
Just
this is
to say a
Samus's
lot.
final form.
It's pretty intense.
It does yes amount of damage.
Now we're getting out of here.
Yeah, so every Metroid has an escape sequence. Unfortunately, no animals to save this time. Just many things to blast through with our Mega Laser Beam. Very reminiscent of Super Metroid.
Okay.
A lot of fun. There's still a lot of tech you can do throughout the escape sequence.
Oh, for sure, yeah, lots of small stuff.
Power bombs and speed boosted strats there.
Just gonna melee off that ledge, get a
Yeah.
little bit more distance. And I'm gonna try a really tough shine spark here that might not get, but it's kind of worth going for. I'm gonna try and set this up.
Nice.
Oh, we just lost our speed there, but that was about half of it. You can carry that all the way here. We're just gonna charge it up again. There we go.
It's like coming up as time as well.
Yep, we're coming very close to time here. And time.
All right.
Made it to the ship.
That was a very good run. So thank you. Give a big round of applause for our runner Grubdog and his fantastic couch.
Thanks,
Have you
guys.
got any shout outs, commentary? Where can we find you? Where
Yeah.
can we find your community?
One thing first, we're going to see if we actually took down 30 bosses. So we have a little result screen here. It should say 30.
Hopefully.
Otherwise, it would be a great most bosses run, but yeah, it should be 30.
Still be a pretty decent 80%. 128 flat.
Oh, was it 128? Okay,
Yeah.
nice. So yeah, we just have a little in-game. This is a bit off because it includes the cutscene time. And now we have the results. We got 10% items, 30 bosses. There we go.
Nice,
And we're done.
nice. It's confirmed.
Yeah. Shout out. So thanks to my co-commentators. It's really nice to share that with you guys. And thanks Pax for having me here. Had a lot of fun. And shout out to the Dread community, all my friends there, and everyone who kind of just supports each other and stuff. Yeah, I love you all.
And where can we see more of you?
Grubdog on Twitch, pretty easy to find.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, stick around. There's lots of great runs coming up. We got Mega Man, Metroid Fusion.
Oh, we've been